Hello, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my $150 DIY closet cloffice. This room we're in now is my office and it's my closet room. And today I wanted to talk about the why, the how, and kind of show you how I organize my wardrobe. It's fair to say I think a lot of people come January are having a rejig, they're kind of having a tidy, getting rid of stuff, decluttering, and I know we all get bombarded with these beautiful images of stunning wardrobes and stunning closets, and I too was like, I want to do something that feels exciting to me, that helps me enjoy my wardrobe and provides functionality but also looks good. But I wanted to do it on a budget. So today we're going to talk about it. So this house we have been in now for 4 years. And when we first bought it, granted, it was like anyone will know, when you buy a house, a home, it is a very big purchase. So we knew we were going to have to save the pennies, not just for renovations we were going to do to the house, but obviously moving is expensive and buying a house is expensive. So when it came to making my dream wardrobe, of course, like everyone, I've seen all the beautiful Pinterest pictures of stunning wardrobes and closets, walk-in closets. And that comes to my first point. I knew I wanted something walk-in and open plan. But again, like I said, I knew I had to be saving the pennies. And if anyone knows me, you'll know about my No Buy 365 wardrobe challenge. I feel like when I made my cloffice, it was the same premise. I was like, how could I make a wardrobe and part of my office room that I can use straight away that, okay, maybe isn't going to be like the dream wardrobe. Turns out it is. But does what I need it to do, costing the least amount possible. So it goes without saying as well, there is also a Substack that I will link to, because I actually wrote the Substack on this topic and how I did, like everything I used to make it $150 will be in that Substack post. But I want to walk you through how I use it to organize my layout. So open plan, that was the first thing I knew I wanted. I wanted to be able to turn around, walk into my wardrobe and have it something I could use straight away. So I will put on the screen an image of what it looked like before. Originally, this room I think was used as a bedroom and I knew it was going to be my office, hence the cloffice. So what I wanted was, first of all, to remove the doors. The doors that were on here were this really intense kind of brown orange. It definitely made the room too warm, if there could be such a thing. So I needed just to kind of pare everything back a little bit, because I knew I'd be filming in here. I knew I'd make content in here. Plus for me, I like to have a space that's very calming when it comes to my work environment. So the doors were the first thing to go. And I knew for me, I wasn't going to be able to install any wardrobes kind of custom built or anything like that. I did think about the IKEA route, but even that was out of my budget at the time. So like I said, the challenge was to do it all for under $150. So keep in mind, I had this wardrobe. This was originally a wardrobe. I had the kind of inset, is that what it's called? Where like once the doors were off, I had this space and I knew I could put curtains along. So the very first thing I did was, once I'd repainted the inside, I painted everything inside the wardrobe again just to make it clean and fresh, because it was, if I remember, it was kind of like brown inside. There was a lot of brown going on and it was very dark inside this space. So I took the shelf, painted it white, painted the rail white. There was a lot of DIY painting going on. And if I move the curtains this way, you can see it's 4 separate curtains. And I thought this is why it's a good idea. If you've seen the Substack post, you can kind of see the video version of this. And the reason I wanted curtains was twofold. First of all, I wanted something that could protect my clothing from dust. I hate sliding doors for the fact that you can only ever see half your wardrobe at one time. That for me is a pet peeve in a wardrobe. I want to be able to see the whole thing. When I can see the whole thing, I use all my clothes. That has been my experience. If I can't see it, I'm probably not going to wear it. And it should be easy to reach for. So there's going to be kind of tips throughout this, is make sure your wardrobe functions for you in a way that makes you wear your clothes. As you will know with my No Buy 365, one of my goals is to truly wear my clothes. So the curtains protect the dust, from the dust, I should say. But as you can see, with a little bit of ruching, they also act as a really nice backdrop. So when I'm filming, I have a softer, more minimalistic backdrop if I want the clothes to be the focus. And then there's a rail inside here. Again, this was super, super cheap, the rail that my lovely husband pinned up inside for me. And then the curtains just slide back. So it means I get to see the whole of my wardrobe very, very quickly. So for me, I like to have all my items hanging up. So jeans, shirts, t-shirts, and what I try and do is kind of categorize by piece. And then within the categorization of piece, I usually categorize by color. But I have blazers along here, then I have kind of denim style jackets here. I have sleeveless blazers here. Then I have some thick kind of cable knit sweaters and like cardigans are in this section. And then because this was originally a wardrobe, there's actually more down here. So down here, I have all my trousers and jeans. Then this end, I'm going to turn the camera and do a little cutaway. I have all my tops, I have all my t-shirts, I have sleeveless shirts, I have all my, is it button up or button down shirts? I can never remember, but I have all those here. Then we have a few lightweight crew neck knits even. And then some more sweaters that are thinner, some t-shirt dresses, and then a couple of occasion wear pieces towards the end. I also have this amazing belt rack where I can actually store belts that are not my go-to. So I kind of have that as well as another way to store belts in there. So that is most of my day-to-day pieces. Along the top, you will see all my handbags. So my handbags, again, I really like to rotate them so I can make sure I'm using all of the pieces I own. I did do a cull recently and there were quite a few pieces that I sold. So again, I have a Substack on that, which lists in detail what I sold and why. I will link that below as well. But yes, all my handbags are along the top, and I do have a handbag video on YouTube, which I will pop. I need to do an updated one at some point. And then I keep the rest of my handbags that are like longer handle or crossbody things that have kind of longer handles. I keep those on the back of my door. But I think what really makes this look as pulled together as it can be for less than $150 is the positioning. So these, the shoe storage, are actually, there's 2 either side, so 4 in total. And I think these were from somewhere from Target, somewhere from Amazon, like $35 each, like super, super cheap. Maybe even 17. And by stacking those on top of each other and then placing the IKEA Alex drawers in the middle, it kind of looks at a glance like it's all stuck together and all put together, whereas they're actually just kind of stacked on top of each other and pushed together. But I think it gives like a viewpoint within the wardrobe when it's open, and it's a great way for me to separate things as well. Shoes, we have all in this one place. I have a couple that are in storage, but generally speaking, nearly all my shoes are out and they are stored along here. I don't really have a rhyme or reason. Obviously, trainers go together. I try and put boots together, sandals together. If I have any by matching brands where I have them in multiple colorways, I put those together as well. Having the Alex drawer meant that I was able to do things like have somewhere for my sunglasses, and there's lots of things that I've just brought over the years that I've ended up recycling, reusing. A handbag drawer. If you don't have one of these, I really, really recommend having a handbag drawer. It just means when I swap my bags around, it's kind of very easy to grab and take what I need. Then I have necklaces, jewelry. This one is a little bit overflowing. And then kind of my everyday jewelry. So I have relabeled things on the inside. All my everyday pieces are there. Earrings I don't wear all the time. Again, these trays were just from Amazon. They go in that one. I have underwear. And then in here, I have belts. Now, even this drawer is broken, but like I said, it does the job. It does what I need it to do. Then my vests and like my camis, any kind of undersweater, like heat tech type clothes, they go in there rolled up. And then in the bottom one, I have my scarves and kind of like woolly hats, silk scarves, all that. So this way, when it comes to getting dressed, it's super easy because I can take a base uniform, something I talk about in the No Buy Styling course, and just grab a blazer, grab an accessory, add a bag. It means that getting dressed is so easy for me and it's enjoyable. One of my favorite things is what I call a wardrobe play date, where often if I'm bored, I'll just go and play in my wardrobe. It's like dressing up when you're a kid. Now, you might be thinking, Harry, where is the storage you mentioned? So I'm now going to show you the storage that is actually above me. So above my wardrobe, I have these, they definitely have a few like dirty finger marks on, but originally when I moved in, this had some different pulls and I just changed them for some brass ones. Up in here, I have boxes from the Container Store where I can store out of season pieces, things that maybe I don't reach for as much. So one thing that's worked really well for me in my wardrobe, in addition to having bins for storage and out of season pieces, is having a bin for pieces that are too small, too big, or I'm unsure about. So I'm thinking about the pieces. To be clear, if something's really too small for me or too big, it goes. It just goes. But if it's like, okay, I've just come back from Christmas, I'm a little bit bigger than I normally am, I intuitively eat, so I may go down again a little bit. I may not. But if I do, it's there. I can see how I feel in like 3 to 6 months. And the same with if something is a piece I'm unsure about, I kind of put it out the way. And if I don't miss it, if I don't reach for it, knowing it's in that box, it makes me feel really good about donating it or giving it away because I've given my brain that bit of breathing space to think about it. I think when it comes to making a wardrobe look good, irrelevant of your budget, I do think there's a couple of things that will definitely make a difference. And I know everyone says it, but it's so true. Just get matching hangers, whether they're the felt ones, whether they're wooden ones, just having matching hangers throughout just gives much more of a uniform finish. So I think even doing that for me, like I know I could have had felt hangers and fit lots more in my wardrobe. I want my wardrobe to feel like my own shop. If I'm going to shop my wardrobe, I want to make it feel like a shop. So I wanted nice luxe wooden hangers. And I'd rather see every single garment in my wardrobe than feel like everything is overstuffed and competing for space. So the last things I have in my cloffice, I just thought I would give you a little overview of how I use this room, is my filming setup. So my kind of workstation, I have a makeup area, I have my area where I do my editing. And then this is a very small room. It's kind of a square. And then in addition to my little working area, I have this cute little love seat. I have some plaster art that I made to actually hide a window. So I can take this on and off when I want to, but it means it stays up most of the time. With a wardrobe room, you do need a good mirror somewhere. I don't mean an expensive mirror, but somewhere where you can see yourself. You can actually look at your outfit and decide, does this feel like me? Do I feel good in it? So that is how I organize things in my closet. I hope this was helpful. I hope it gave you some ideas if you are looking to redo your own wardrobe or reorganize things in whatever room you use for storage of your clothes, and just how I use this room in general. I love being in this room. This room is like my happy space, and I work in here. Again, it's my wardrobe. I play in here. The relationship I've built with my clothes is one built on play and creativity. And I just want to say, I know, given that it's January, everyone feels like they have to do a no buy right now. But I honestly think doing a no buy is the best way to connect with your creativity. It's the best way to get back to using what you have. It is not a punishment. It is not a way to make up for your past consumption. It's a way for you to decide, how do you want to use your wardrobe moving forward, and just to really use the things you already have and find new ways to wear them. So like I mentioned, I will link to my no buy styling course down below, which, as I've mentioned before, has everything you need in terms of understanding how to style the pieces you do own and what to do when you're feeling spendy, how to navigate a no buy without it feeling restrictive, and be a tool to help you reconnect to creativity in your wardrobe. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this, please subscribe and like. Don't forget to follow my Substack. I will link those articles down below that I've mentioned in this video. And I can't wait to see you in the next one.